And next, we'd like to bring Khadija Lewis-Can, the Executive Director of Beautiful Beginnings.
Hi, my name is Khadija, and I'm the Executive Director of Beautiful Beginnings and also a steering committee member on the Right from the Start campaign. And I would like to thank Rep. Alzate and Senator Murray, just as the others have said, for introducing this bill. It is critical for us to have increased funding in order to provide our children and our families with the support that they need in these early years. And raising the taxes on the top 1% earners just makes it a more fair and equitable system. I mean, our lower income residents are already paying more than their fair share. So, let's see. I would say childhood lasts a lifetime. You hear that. The things that happen in early childhood education and during those early years move on and go with children for their full lifetime. So if they get a great foundation, have a good education, have the health care that they need, their families have housing, mental health supports that they need, that helps make sure that they have good outcomes as young adults and as they move into adulthood. It's important for our state that we invest in our youngest children and their families. So what has it meant that we don't have the proper revenue for our state? Over the last 20 years, Childcare has lost about $48 million in state contributions. So we spend $48 million less than we did 20 years ago in childcare in the state. You hear a lot of families, childcare is the second most biggest income, childcare is the second biggest item in many families' budgets. And right now, 40% less families are being served by the childcare system. And that is because although we reduced the income eligibility in 2008, it has never gone back up. And as incomes are rising, less families are qualifying for childcare. So it's not that the families don't need it, it's that the families are not qualifying. So what is happening with our children? Also, early intervention. You've heard that early intervention has long waiting lists. You know, over the pandemic, all of the early intervention providers have closed their acceptance, and it's gone to one joint waiting list because they can't find educators to stay in the field to provide the services that are so necessary for our youngest children. Same thing is happening in childcare. Because of the reduced revenue, early educators are some of the lowest paid educators in the state and the lowest paid workers in the state. So this is something we've been advocating for since before the pandemic started. The system was underinvested in since before the pandemic started. We're thankful for the ARPA funds and the COVID funds. And now is the time to plan for the future. If we're not supporting our children and our families, then what are we doing in the state? What can we build on if we don't have aren't investing in our children? So we support the Revenue for Rhode Island bills. We thank you so much, and we look forward to testifying on your behalf. Thank you.
I'd also like to take a moment to thank Representative Morales, who's here, Senator Acosta, Senator Val Lawson, Senator Valverde, Representative Kislak, Representative Carson, Representative Leonela Felix, Representative Potter, Representative Terry Cortfind, Representative Tansey, and Representative Agello. Thank you for being here today. And this brings us to the end of our kickoff. Our legislative sponsors and other coalition members will be here, happy to answer any questions that you may have.